Hi, everyone. Welcome to Medi-Veggie. We're
Hi.
excited to be here. So how's everyone doing? It's Wednesday, and tell me everything. How are you, Esther?
I'm good. I'm doing good, I think, and excited to talk about our book recommendations today for API month.
Very good. And what about you, Dr. Smita? How are you?
Yeah, I am well. I feel that there's a lot going on in our world still. There's a lot of discombobulated energies, and I've been feeling them, but doing okay. I actually did a meditation intensive this weekend, so it's helped me sort of stay afloat.
I hear ya. Lots going on as of late. And what about
Yes.
you, Chef Mina?
I'm sore. Everything in my body hurts because I have been hiking crazy long, crazy hikes, taking side roads. I shouldn't be little side hikes and, crawling up hills. And so it's been good. It's been good to push.
That's awesome.
That crawling uphill, is almost like a metaphor to what a lot of people are experiencing right now.
Yeah. And we also want to say hello to our YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, LinkedIn audience, and of course, our friends on Zoom. So we have a couple of folks on Zoom, and we're excited to have you again joining us. And in about 30 seconds, we're going to begin Medi-Veggie. So I'm going to let Esther take over at that point.
Yeah, cool. So, welcome to Medi-Veggie, friends. We are here every Wednesday to encourage health from the mind to the body. And during our show, you'll always be getting a vegetarian recipe or tips, as well as a 15-minute guided meditation. Often led by Dr. Smita Garg. That is the treat that we offer. We're here every Wednesday at 12:15, and as Chami mentioned earlier, you can join us on this Zoom call by registering through Eventbrite, or you can watch our stream through Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, or LinkedIn. And earlier, we mentioned that it is API month, as you can see from all of our matching backgrounds today. It's Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Today we have a couple book recommendations that are by these API authors that we have personally found enriching and helpful. So Chami, do you want to start with your recommendation or should I start?
Okay, I can start. So, a book that I definitely recommend for everyone, which I only recently discovered, but as I understand it, a lot of the folks who are recently, going to college or high school that you're starting to learn from this book already. I am a little bit, more senior, so I didn't get to learn from this book, and I was educated in Utah. What can I say? It was not very diverse back then. But this book here, I'm going to read the title, is called A History of Asian Americans, Strangers from a Different Shore by Ronald Takaki. So it's super cool because finally, when this book came out, it was one of the first, if not the first, to describe Asian American history, because prior to that, there were none. So I really recommend this book so we can understand where all of this the Asian American history started. So I really like it. I hope you guys get it. You can get it on Amazon, all that good stuff. What about you?
Yeah, I highly recommend that book because 10 years ago, 15 years, I can't even remember when I was doing my doctoral thesis and found Ron Takaki's work. It was like a world opening because there was hardly anything available that talked about the Asian American experience. And he's such a wonderful researcher, writer. He actually taught at Berkeley, but I didn't live in California when I found his work. So I think this work should be treasured and read by every Asian American Pacific Islander student because it feels, to me, it feels like one of the first works where the Asian American experience is talked about. Like, this is that work where, you know, when you look at our history or the history of Asian American Pacific Islanders in USA, there really isn't a lot available. So Ron's work is highly recommended.
How many pages is in that book?
Let's see. It is a lot.
Is it on audio? Is it on Audible by chance?
I don't know. Maybe. It's like over 580 pages.
Yeah, I would still say read it. Actually, his style is
It's
easy to read.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that I love about his writing.
It's very entertaining. It's not, it doesn't read like a textbook. It's really good. Yeah.
Awesome.
What about you, Esther? I think you have a book recommendation.
Yeah. Okay, so I would like to share about this book. It's called Minor Feelings, An Asian American Reckoning by the Korean American poet Kathy Park Hong. And this is a really recent publication, actually. It just came out 2020. I originally bought it for one of my best friends, her birthday. And then now that we live together, I get to read this copy too. And basically it's kind of what you talked about, Smita. It's like, what are all these feelings we're having as Asians in America? You know, she kind of looks at her own life experience and the struggles she's had as a writer, both in the institution and within her own personal life with her other friends who are Asian artists. She looks at her parents' history, and then she just looks at the events that we've had in the last few decades, you know, the different Asian hate crimes that haven't been discussed. And obviously this book came out before our recent spike in Asian hate crimes, like now we're talking about it. But I found it very personally helpful to me too, because, you know, like as Asians, we're not the people that people think of when we think, oh, racism. We think of racism against like people with dark skin in America. But it's like, there's a lot of like, we can call them minor feelings that you have as an Asian too. So she gets into it very well. And I'm learning a lot about other artists that I hadn't heard of before.
I love it because now we have like an old, you know, history book and then the most recent. That's really good.
So this new one is on Audible.
You just checked? Is that what you're saying?
I just checked and I've just ordered it.
Awesome.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I think it's going to be really good to listen to as well, Mina, since you're that kind of person who like will do that.
I can't sit still. I have to be walking and listening at the same time. So there's no way. I'd be sleeping. So this is good. Very excited.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we might as well go right into our, you know, the first portion of Medi-Veggie, which is the veggie part. We should call it Veggie Medi. I don't know.
That will confuse all of us.
Wait.
Medi-Veggie?
Medi-Veggie. What?
I love it.
That's what happens when you when you change.
Or if you've been drinking too early in the morning.
Yeah.
Well, Esther, do you want me to talk about why I picked avocados this week?
Yes, please.
Well, I didn't really know. I asked just now because we're supposed to be doing like Asian vegetable or Asian ingredients, and I didn't know that avocado was an Asian ingredient, but I'm really glad it is because this week we're doing this avocado pastry for a quiche, and I chose it because I saw it on Jamie Oliver's site. I love Jamie Oliver, but I adapted it because I thought, it's really interesting. It's avocados are like 50 calories for 2 tablespoons, but butter is like 200 calories for 2 tablespoons. So I'm like, man, I love pastry, but I'm going to substitute the avocados from now on. So go ahead and play and I'll tell you about it. Okay, so in this you have 2 ripe avocados, flour, water is needed, kosher salt, and you just rub it. You make a pastry like any other pastry you would with butter. You've got the second part, which is the filling. So here's what is in the pastry. And in the filling, you've got, well, let's talk about this. So basically the way you do it, and I'm so tanned, I've been hiking a lot, but literally you would make a dough out of this, right? And add a little bit of salt, add water as needed, and you kind of squeeze it and you rub it between your fingers. That's the proper technique. And there you go. You just continue to make it into this beautiful little dough. Once it's made into a dough, you put some film over it and let it sit for about 15 or 20 minutes. And then you roll it out into this, and while it's sitting, you can get your stuff together and you can put anything on it. I did frozen peas, I did spinach, I did 10 large leaves of basil. You take in some eggs, 6 eggs, and some cheddar cheese.
Mina, what would you substitute eggs with?
Pieces burned without eggs.
Vegan eggs. They sell vegan eggs.
Is it? Yeah, I guess. I mean, I've never used vegan eggs. Are there vegan eggs? Okay, I would put vegan eggs in there. I've never used vegan eggs. So you just mix that up into a food processor, and you roll it in. And this pastry goes into the oven at 400 for about 10 to 15 minutes. And then once it's cooled, you just put your egg mixture on top of it. And I actually added some shiitake mushrooms to this, some peppers, and my husband likes meat, so I actually put some prosciutto on half of it, but you don't have to. You can put on anything that's vegetarian on here. And then once you do that, and I actually, pan fried these ahead of time. Added a little bit of tomatoes. It's kind of like a quiche pizza, I think.
Yeah, it's like a pizza.
Yeah, but it's just yum. It's so good. And then I baked it. And there's the prosciutto on half of it so that my husband can have what he needed. And then I topped it with a salad, herb salad dressed in oil and balsamic vinegar, a squeeze of lemon. And that's it. I mean, that was it. I put it in the fridge overnight and we ate it for a couple of days and it was delish.
Thank you for sharing that. But yes, you can always put fake bacon on there if you really like that texture. But yeah, this is vegetarian, Mina.
I know, but I know it is. I'm so sorry, guys, but I have to please half the people in the family, right? Because if I only like we said, it's a process, and so there are times I want to eat vegetarian, he wants to eat meat, and it's okay to just be a little bit, okay. I mean, in terms of like compromising with that, but I didn't even know about vegan eggs. So somebody tell me about vegan eggs because I know nothing about them.
Yeah, you go in the store and you ask for vegan eggs, and it comes in like a milk carton thing. It's liquidy, kind of like fake eggs.
What's it made out of?
I have no idea. We can Google it right now.
Yeah, Mina, I think I would love to try this recipe. And just me, because the taste of besan or the Indian chickpea flour is very distinct. It's very earthy. It's not like eggs at all. But I think I'm going to try this recipe with besan because that is a great substitute for, making like pancakes and things, right?
Oh my gosh.
And it bakes really beautifully. Besan bakes really beautifully. So I think I'm going to try it out with that.
Well, you've given me a great idea, taking that and putting curry on top of it and make a little curry pizza.
Yes, exactly. And then you can, so besan is chickpea flour.
Chickpea flour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The fake eggs, it's at least with this one brand, is called Just Just. It's made of mung bean.
Oh,
isn't that
wow?
Cool?
Wow, that's cool.
That yellow color, which is
that means you get your really good protein also because are a great
mung
source.
beans it tastes rich too. It's like the egg yolk. So
okay, I'm gonna make this again, and I'm gonna make it with that. Just what did you call it? Just what?
It's just called JU. And then ST. So their website would be ju.st.
Just. Okay.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
when we post this recipe online, Esther, let's add the egg substitute.
Perfect.
For
Perfect.
sure.
Well, this week was vegetarian and definitely not dairy free, but yeah, I get so excited when I can adapt recipes. And sometimes the first time I'll adapt it partially, and then the next time I'll get it really right. Right. So we're all just evolving and just trying things and experimenting, which is so fun.
Yep. And sometimes you do have to please your family members so that, put it in half if you're not like that strict vegetarian where you're like things can't touch, So I'm like you, like I do the half and a half. It's okay, but it all depends on every family's preference.
Yeah.
If you can make 2 quiches, why not make 2, right?
Exactly. Because I don't like doing dishes. That's why.
Good reason. Anyhow, I love it. And I like that you're treating the avocado just like butter, basically.
Yeah. Well, who needs the extra calories? I do not need extra calories. And
I love
pastry.
butter though. I have to tell you, I have to also share this because I think it's important to know that our brain cells, they do need some amount of butter or ghee in order to stay young.
Yeah.
And our eyes also need. I've actually experimented on myself a few times when I've gotten rid of butter from my diet or ghee or anything that has similar properties. It affects my eyesight. So I'm just saying to those who are watching the show that, just be mindful of your health and go with what works for your body.
I would really recommend also genetic testing, guys, because this last week I did my 23andMe genetic testing, and I did the food part of it, and it was really helpful. I was really surprised. Like, I seem to be more lactose intolerant than I even knew I was. And so everybody, Smita, you're absolutely right. Every body is different. And it's really important to try different things. I try to include as many varieties of food for myself that are lower cal, because I feel like if I look at BMI and weight and fat in my body versus, it's a constant balance, right? So you just have to, like you said, balance your own body and know what your own body does well with. So just keep practicing. Enjoy the kitchen.
Also,
speaking of balance, meditation time.
I just wanted to say that there's a lot of stuff coming out now. The doctors are saying not to go by BMI. It's not the right way to look at. You really have to listen to your body. And so I think we are all being, asked to listen and connect more deeply with our body and decide accordingly what is good for us. Instead of listening to your tongue, listen to your body, listen to your stomach, listen to your gut, right? So the tongue may want the ice cream or fried food or whatever, right? So, okay, so today I'm going to do a meditation on love. You heard it right, love. And it has components of self-love. It has components of giving and receiving love. So let's begin. Find yourself a nice spot to relax and make it a quiet spot. This is your time to be with yourself. So make good use of this time and let us begin. Okay. And take a deep breath. Hold for a moment. Exhale through the mouth, making the exhale a little longer than the inhale. Let us try it again. Take a deep breath in, hold, Exhale. And one last deep breath in. Hold. And let go. Today we will focus on love. What is love? This whole world is constantly looking for love. Everybody, every being is looking for love. This entire universe works on the principle of love, giving and receiving love. Everybody, please mute yourselves. So now this love is not we have grown up experiencing. That's not the love I'm talking about. Let us begin first with our body. Put your right hand on your heart. Feel your heartbeat. Go beyond the heartbeat. Feel the heart that is beating. Every moment taking in oxygen, converting it into blood, and sending it all across your body to every little cell in your body. And this heart, it helps every little cell to every big organ function. It allows you to live. And every little cell and tissue and organ in your body are busy loving you quietly, generously. Take a deep breath in and receive that love. Feel that love. Feel your heart fill up with love. And now is your turn to send this love to every part of your body. One more time, taking a deep breath in. Send love to every part of your body, right from the top all the way down to your toes, your feet. Imagine your love flowing into every little cell, every little bit, every nook and cranny of your body. And now bring your focus back to the heart. Your heart is the center of love. When we receive love, our heart expands. We feel a lightness, a joy in our being. In the company of love, we forget all the sadness and everything that contracts us. Feelings of fear, guilt, despair, all go away. Your true nature is love. And that love is like a bed of the ocean, still, steady, and calm. And all the other emotions, the sadness, anger, frustration, are like waves in the ocean. They come and go. They are never here to stay. They are always moving. Any moment when you feel a contraction, it is nothing but a movement on what is permanent, still, and calm. And so, know that love is not transitory. It is always there, like the ocean bed. And if you have experienced something that is conditional, then you may let it go, for it is not love. There are treasures to be found on the ocean bed within us. So look within every day in a few moments of quietude. Feel the love which the divine created. Remember, there is no one else like you, exactly like you, anywhere on earth. And there is no one just like you that came before or will come after you. Feel your body, your entire body now filling with love. You were created in love, and with love. Take a deep breath in and feel this love within you. When you see and receive love from yourself, you will realize it is easier to share it with others. It comes in limitless, endless quantities. It has no beginning and no end. It has no conditions and no judgment. It holds no barriers. It is all there is, the reason for our existence. And now take a moment to send love to those that have been hard to love. People in your life who've hated you. Send them love. Some pure, undiluted love. And back into your heart center. Let us send some love collectively to our Mother Earth also, who gives all of herself, her abundance to us. Let's send some love to her now. And now hold your arms out far and wide and bring them back to yourself in a nice big hug. Remember to give yourself hugs every day, as many times as you wish. Know you are always loved, and that's the one thing no one can take away from you. This whole entire universe loves you. Remember that, especially on your toughest day. Take a deep breath in and let go. And open your eyes to this beautiful, loving world. Namaste. How is everybody feeling?
Very good. It's very nice to be in this space for me this week. It's been kind of crazy. So it's nice to just be with you ladies again and our friends on Zoom. And it's just nice. I was gone last week, so it's good to be back. Thanks for your meditation.
You're welcome.
I thought
my God. Go ahead.
Profound when you talked about sending love to people that may not have liked us. And then it made me think about sending love to ourselves as well, of things that we don't like about ourselves, or pieces of ourselves maybe that are unlovable. So yeah, just always thought-provoking.
Send love to the one who thinks there are parts of you that's unlovable.
It's all one and the same one.
I'm surprised to hear you say that, Mina, that there are parts of you feel is unlovable.
Yeah.
I don't know why I feel surprised by that. I guess I have this assumption that as you get older, that you learn to accept and love yourself as you are, the good, the bad, and the ugly, right?
I think we're constantly evolving, and we're like onions. And as we learn and grow, and there are more and more lessons, we kind of become like a stone that's sort of in one of those quarries that just goes round and round. You become softened, but it doesn't mean that parts of ourselves that maybe are unlovable are gone. I mean, I think that's the nature of humanity and of realization, to come to understand those parts. And some things are just much harder. Things maybe we had in childhood, losses, traumas, deaths. These things always, can continue to come up. And I think being in awareness and being close to self helps me get through those times. But the evolution is constant. The work on oneself is constant. So yes, of course, there are places that I don't love myself, but I actually, as I get older, feel like I can see it in other people a little bit easier, because maybe it's intuitive, maybe it's that I've already experienced a little bit more life. And so when I see that unlovable part in other people, it's easier to identify and maybe to be a little bit more compassionate. Because it's all relative, right? Mm-hmm. When you're young and you stub your toe, it's like it's the worst thing ever. And then you get a little bit older and you suffer your first love loss, and then it feels like that's the biggest thing. And then maybe a parent dies. Maybe there's a divorce. Maybe there's a death of a spouse. Maybe there's a miscarriage. Who knows? But all of these things are opportunities for parts of oneself to grow and to love and to accept these things. So, and in that acceptance is a sense of peace, for me anyway. So yeah, of course there's things about myself. I can be a pain in the neck sometimes.
Can you love yourself when you are a pain in the neck?
I don't know. Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yodi, tell us all. I know. Okay, move the mic to somebody else. I'm feeling vulnerable.
How about Esther? How are you doing?
Actually, it's like interesting where the conversation has gone about loving parts of ourselves, because that's exactly what I'm learning right now in therapy. And like over the past week, like before yesterday, I felt like I was identifying this part of me that feels so immature, like very much like my teenage self, taking me through like dramas that I really don't need. But then, my therapist was like, well, like, what do you think this part wants to say to you? What do you think she needs? And like, ultimately, I think like, yeah, like somehow it's best, there's the most peace when we come to like appreciate our parts and what they do for us. And I guess just like learn to counterbalance and sort of moderate. Like if I have like a little teenager in my brain, like she could use some structure, like she could use some mentoring from the older, wiser parts of me. Putting like boundaries on myself in a way that I want to, because now that we're older, we get to put boundaries on ourselves. We don't have like parents doing that for us anymore, like guessing what it is that they think we need. So anyway, yeah, that was a really, that was kind of an insightful meditation, I felt like. Yeah.
Anyone else on our Zoom panel, if you'd like to share, please speak up. If not, we just keep talking.
Well, Carmi, what about you?
For me, I've kind of stopped with the whole self-hate type thing a while back, because it just doesn't serve anyone, not myself, not those around me either. I kind of accept myself for who I am. So the, good and the bad. And when I do something bad, then I'm like, ooh, that was bad. So then it's more like, okay, I'm going to learn. I'm just going to try to do that next time. But I don't hate, because maybe hate is a really strong word. Maybe it's a shift in language, use of language. Perhaps it's dislike myself in that moment, or something more like that. So so I don't really use that word hate, because it's pretty strong. But I think in general I'm pretty good. But I think the part that is a good reminder from Smita's meditation is though sometimes we don't always like everyone, but it's good to send them love, right? And it doesn't have to mean like, yeah, why don't you just have some love and go die, So it can't be like that. So she mentioned like that. I forgot the word you used, but genuine love, pure love. So it could be
pure, undiluted love.
Undiluted. There you go. And it can be that simple. And maybe when I was younger, it's hard to do, but I find it pretty easy now. So sometimes to get them out of your life, for me, I just go, I hope they get everything that they want so they can move away into a bigger house somewhere that they really love, So that's how I wish them out of my life, versus before, like, I hope they die, or something horrible happens to them. Now it's like, I really hope they gain great, amazing success and go out into the world away from me.
So what I asked in the meditation was to go even more radical, right? Can you love that part of you that says go and die? Is that even possible? And I want everyone to try that out. Can you love that part of you that feels in a moment that wants to curse somebody, or feels, can you still love instead of hating yourself?
Yeah.
I'll tell you something that happened this weekend to me. And I guess this is why my guide said to do this meditation today, because this Saturday I was part of a meeting, a Zoom meeting. And there's something that happened in that meeting which literally destroyed me in a way that I thought wasn't possible after like years of doing your, work, your inner work. I allowed myself to be destroyed. I allowed myself to feel everything I was feeling. I saw this whole practice of self-love completely come into play. And that's the beauty I experienced, because I didn't know it was possible to love myself like that. So in those moments when I felt the hurt and everything, I saw my 10-year-old self, because it's possible that something happened when I was 10, which made me feel that way. And it just became a part of my system, right? So I went back to my 10-year-old self, and I poured love on her. I poured love on that 10-year-old me. And I told her it was okay to feel whatever she was feeling. It was okay for the tears to come. It was okay to cry, to feel everything. And it was maybe half an hour, that feeling passed. It just passed away. It left me. I just wanted to share how powerful it is to accept all parts of you, because they are coming up for a reason. They're not unreasonable. Nothing that comes up in us is ever unreasonable. There is some history embedded there. There's some experience embedded there that we tried to suppress because the world told us it's not okay to be that way. and stop doing it. Stop suppressing. Let it flow through you and leave your
It's
system.
like acknowledging it.
Yes.
Acknowledging its existence,
Mhm.
and that's what it's
Yes.
asking for. And once you do that, you can then move on. If you don't,
Mhm.
it will just stay there and
Yes.
knocks at your door whenever the time, is appropriate. And you're like, where'd that come from? Because you never acknowledged
Yeah,
it.
I'm 51 years old. That thing came, something happened in that meeting, which we don't have to talk about here,
You
but
can tell me later.
it triggered that part of me when I was 10, right? And so you never know what is buried in here. Is it coming from a past life? Is it coming from your childhood? But it's coming up because it wants to be acknowledged and it wants to experience the love it didn't experience then. It experienced judgment at that time and it experienced suppression. So it's really, really beautiful if we can all do that work and move into that space of self-love, no matter what, no judgment for ourselves or anybody else.
Thank you for sharing, Stephen. That was such a beautiful example of how this meditation can come alive in daily life. Do you believe that meeting people that trigger something in you is an opportunity to really look at yourself or myself and really think about kind of where it's coming from and to try to, because it's really not about them, right? Whatever happens isn't really about them.
Yeah.
It's a mirror for me to be
Yes.
able to self-reflect. And
100%.
in the
100%.
past, I used to want to get away from those people. Like I used to be like, well, like a toddler, like that person hurt me. I don't want anything to do with that person. But now I actually have a saying that says, run into it. Run into all of these feelings because they are filled with incredible insight and
Growth
opportunity.
opportunities.
Growth, right?
Yes. It comes with a warning label. If somebody comes at you with a hammer, then get out of the way.
What about 6 degrees of separation, right? Like people are brought to us for a reason and situations are brought to us for a reason. Do you believe that?
Oh, yeah. We chose the situations. As a soul, as a sovereign soul, which each one of us is, we wrote those situations into our life plan before we came here. And we can change the scenario. You'll see that unless you really do the work, that's showing up, that situation will repeat itself. Today, it's your father. Tomorrow, it's your neighbor. Third day, it's your teacher, your boss, somebody. But it's the exact same situation, the exact same thing, packaged differently. And it will keep coming your way until you address it.
Yeah, I find that to be true. Absolutely. So I tend to address most, if not all, things. But I never thought about it in that context. For me, it's more like I don't want to have regrets. I don't want to have to say I coulda, shoulda, woulda. So like if I were to die tomorrow, today, I have zero regrets. There's nobody that I've not talked to or told them or whatever that was. And to me, it's almost like living in the moment always, because then I'm not always reliving the past and thinking, oh, I coulda, shoulda, woulda, right?
Yeah.
But it always comes up, right? It does come up from time to time. No matter how successful you are in dealing with something, every now and then it comes up. And it's like, why?
It comes up because it's still not fully resolved in you.
Yep.
And there's parts of it that you're still running away from or suppressing, which is why it keeps coming up.
Mm-hmm.
So all you do is when it comes up, instead of thinking, why is it coming up again? And getting angry with yourself, like, I've done all this work, and losing your patience, you say, oh, okay, here it comes again. Now let us see what more it needs. And then you give it that. Give it more love. So
It sounds really simple, but it is that simple, and we make it complicated. It is that simple. But I think sometimes it's about pride, right? So sometimes you don't confront whomever or tell whomever, whatever it is, because you're too proud, because you don't want to have another confrontation, because you're afraid, because blah, blah, but that's all ego, right? Your ego
yes.
is afraid. Your ego has pride, your ego. So you put it all aside, and then you just do what you need to do, whether the person might not accept what you say and hurt you some more, or they may accept what you say. But I feel like so long as you feel you've done your best, and and they may not even accept anything you do.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's very
I heard somebody else talk about love. Oh my. Very hard.
I was waiting for Uncle to chime in.
right.
Okay. My variant is my own. I met her when she 7 years old. I am 11. Yeah, I take her go to school every day. After that, I go to the church. Want to be the spirit, and she get mad. She go to be the follow Sita. She go to the church too. She get mad, so she go to the church. So 60 years after that, I see her again.
Oh.
My love's still there, and she's still there. Okay, but she love another one better than me. So she said, every day she will pray for me. That's it. That's my love. I still see it in here.
Wow.
So that my love a long time, about 60 year, 60 year, long time. But when I see her, she's still there. The love's still there, but very hard to say and very easy to remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
That am I.
eternal. Love doesn't, that's why, when people break up, when they get divorces and they're like, I hate you, and I don't understand. I'm like, okay, you guys used to love each other. How do you go from that to hate? I get I don't like you right now, leave me alone. But I mean, it sounds crazy, but you don't hate your exes. Like, why? That energy is so much waste.
I don't get it either.
Oh, I have to share something, guys. I have to share something about love. Love.
And I think about the other way. When I over 17 years old, I think of myself a lot. I saw people love and marry and get divorced. I don't like it, the divorce. And I think about the other way. Love must be forgive and forgotten. Just love only. How did you think about yourself? How do you think about another one? Okay. So when did you do the wrong thing? The people outside see that, and so do the same thing. What you do it? What you see?
Right.
So must be forgiven and forget, and love only. That is stick together a long time.
Yeah.
My mom and my dad about 90 years. They stick together and have 11 kids. Too much for the Vietnamese people. I learn from them that thing. Thank you for.
Mina, what was it that you wanted?
Oh, okay. I just have to share a story about love. And that is that, over the years, my late husband has been gone for so many years, but in my back of my pajama closet, I have a top that's made out of wool that I keep, and I've been sleeping in it every now and then when it's cold, and it's got lots and lots of holes in it. So I actually found it today, and I took it to my husband. I've been married for a long time to my second husband, and I took it to him and I said, sweetie, I don't need this anymore. I'm going to get rid of this. And he goes, oh, maybe you should take it to the seamstress and have it made into a pillow so that when you really need that comfort, you can take that and have that soft comfort next to you.
Oh my God.
And I said, honey, that is so kind of you. I said, I don't really need that comfort anymore. He goes, oh, yes, you do. Last week you were so mad at me, and I know you went there. And I was like, you're right. I really did. I really did go there. And what I realized was that is love. Love is the ability to be your full self, to have somebody know that just because you have loved somebody else deeply, it doesn't mean that there isn't space for full love. And in the end, I did actually get rid of it. I don't really need that comfort anymore. It's always there in my heart. But, it was so symbolic of what love is, right? Of acceptance and not feeling jealous and being fully open and making sure that the person that you're with, if you're with somebody, really honors all of your needs and is okay, doesn't feel less than because of that. To me, that was love. And we just laughed and laughed about it. So I had to share that.
It's lovely. Thank you for sharing. And basically that was your husband, your current husband, putting his ego totally aside.
Yes.
Him loving you completely. And that's all we could ask for one another. And that's so amazing.
Isn't it?
That's a beautiful story. Yeah, loved it.
It's important to tell people that you love them too.
Mm-hmm.
So what happened with me is I found my aunt that I haven't seen in probably more than 45 years. And she lives here in Walnut Creek. So I went to go meet her last month. And we had a dinner outside in the backyard. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go, but because of pandemic, but I hadn't seen her in 45 years. So I don't remember her. And then she says, I love you. And I'm like, I don't know, this person is kind of weird, but she's my aunt. So I thought that's pretty cool. I didn't expect that.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty nice.
So. And if you just look at everybody as a divine being, it's basically God coming through and saying, I love you.
Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of us don't make that connection that it's the divine speaking through each one of us, right?
Right. Yeah.
We got a Facebook comment about 11 minutes ago from Marissa Gasca. She said, so much truth in what you are sharing. Perfect timing. Your words hit home.
Hey, Marissa. I'm so glad you joined in, my beautiful friend.
Thank you for sharing that, Marcos. It's her giving you love unconditionally. Like, though you may not know each other that well, but again, love is love. It is just pure. It is just simple. We make it so complicated. For us, we're like, well, we have to know them for like 3 years, then we have to eat dinner with them 100 times and watch TV with them, and then we can say we love them. I mean, all these stupid rules we make up ourselves. And you know how people are like, love at first sight, it doesn't exist. Yes, it does. Because there are many forms of love, right? Yep. So we make up rules. So Marcos, I think you should go to see your aunt again and tell her you love her next time.
Yeah, I will.
Maria, do you have, sorry.
I just want to say that Marcos really took that in, and I was so touched by your ability to accept it and to accept hearing that she loves you. And I have to say, for me, there's a very lovable spirit about you, Marcos. I don't know you. I've never met you. I see you on Zoom every week. And I really feel a kinship and a spiritual kind of connection and a deep fondness for you that I can't even explain. So just, putting it out there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Marcus is our rock. He's our anchor. I'm loving Maria and your what do you call that? Bed?
The hammock.
The hammock, yes. I'm loving it. Like you look so
Maria, do you want to add anything?
It's cold out here, so I had my blanket and I've been hiding in it.
Hello?
So, and it's noisy here too because we've got dogs here and the chimes are going. So
There's one dog, and that isn't even our dog.
and the child is making comments.
Hello.
Hi, Danny.
That's so funny. The child is making comments.
I can't talk without my child making comments behind me. So, or in this case, right next to me.
Yeah,
So,
that's possible.
see?
Share one of the comments for sure.
These are one of the side benefits of having your kids go to school from home.
You get a constant commentary that just lasts all day long.
Welcome to Medi-Veggie, everyone. Where anything can happen.
Oh my God.
Well, the perfect ending, I think, for Medi-Veggie today. Of all of us laughing from too much love. You can't have too much love, but lots of love. So we appreciate everyone for joining us on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, wherever else, LinkedIn, every Wednesday at 12:15. I do want to mention, though, that we will be taking a break at the end of May. So we'll still have our show in May, the beginning of June for a couple of months, just so that we can all, go on our summer vacation, whether it be at home or going somewhere safe. Just to give you a heads up, but we'll run like the best of meditation.
I'll be going to visit my other aunt and meet her in Washington State.
Oh,
yeah,
wonderful.
beautiful.
Now that we're all vaccinated and all that, we're gonna get together. So that'd be nice.
Oh, good. Very good. So yeah, so we just want everyone to know that, and it'll be very strange to not, have our Wednesday Medi-Veggie, but when we come back, it's going to be even more awesome. Anyways, we're still around, so I'm not going to say anything yet. We'll see you next Wednesday at 12:15, same place, same time. All right.
And if you're feeling down, go back to this particular episode of Medi-Veggie and watch it.
Good. Hi, Uncle.
Hi.